Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maniac. I know it has been a while and things have been kind of crazy. I got a space in a salon and worked for a couple weeks trying to build up clientele because I'm in a new state, and then we're shut down again now on lockdown, so things have just been kind of crazy. But I wanted to go ahead and get this video put together. This was a requested video, and so thank you for that. And I wanted to take a moment to show you a little bit more on nail forms. So this request came from the video I did on my favorite nail forms and showing you different comparisons and types. And I am going to show you now about placing the forms and how to work with different shapes and how to place the forms for different nail shapes as well. So it's kind of going to be an all-inclusive form video here. So I am using, these are Young Nails nail forms. I love these. These are like my everyday go-to for the most part. I did mention in my other video, which I will link up in the top for you, that I do love the Magpie Fab Fit forms because I have extended hyponychium under my nail, so they give a little more space there. But for most people that don't have that, these forms are fine unless I need extra length, which we can work around that as well. So I'll go ahead and start by showing you these nail forms. So I'm just going to pop this middle piece out, put this in the back here, and that just gives me kind of some extra stability. You can really put it sticky side out if you want to, it doesn't matter. I always pre-pinch the form because once I get it on, I want to know that it is even and straight. That kind of just helps me direct it so that this I already know is straight. So Young Nails, if you guys don't follow their channel, if you're into nail stuff, go follow, subscribe to their channel because they have amazing nail education. And Greg, who is one of the co-owners of Young Nails, does a lot of their education. He teaches about using the forms and different ways to put them on, and two ways that he suggests using is either you can hold this like a handle from this end here, and you notice I didn't pinch it all the way yet because whether or not I'm going to pinch it all the way is going to depend on what shape I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and we're using our nice Young Nails practice hand, and I can either hold it here by this little kind of handle, he calls it, and push it on and under the nail. Again, the part you want to watch most closely is in the center of the nail. You want to make sure that the form is snug underneath that center part of the nail is the most important part. And then you can just kind of push it up so that it is even. So I'll turn the hand and you can watch me do this. Hopefully I'll do it okay, but so you can grab it by the handle here. I'm going to place it under the nail and I'm going to kind of rotate it up. Again, I'm making sure that this part here in the center of the nail is tight underneath that nail, and then I'm going to just go ahead and make sure that it is even coming out straight from the nail there so that it's not tilted down. We don't want a talon nail, or one that's pointing up either. You want it to be straight. So then I would be able to go ahead and push that and clamp it down. The other way that he shows is by holding it down here. So you're just going to kind of hold it open. Gonna grab the client's finger or your finger. If you're doing this obviously on yourself, you're going to want to do it the handle way because you won't have two hands. That's how I do it. If you are doing it on someone else, however, you're going to go ahead and make sure you hold their finger. You're going to pull this up underneath and then basically do the same thing. You can use your finger down here to push from the bottom just to get that nice and even. Make sure it is straight and then sticky. So once it is straight, it's straight in the middle and it's coming straight out from the nail, both this line and this way as well, right? It's not tilted down, it's not tilted up. Then I'm going to go ahead and stick it. So these don't stick real well to the plastic, but they stick aces to a person's hand. So don't worry about that. On here, it's a little bit more difficult to get it to stick. So, but anyway, so those are the basic kind of ways of getting the form on. Now, if you have someone that has a sort of more square nail bed or bitten nails, let me cut this to show you. So let's say, for example, that this person has bitten their nails back, and so their nail bed looks sort of square. Maybe there's some skin sticking out here. You can take the forms, basically. You're gonna take off the piece behind, and we're just gonna cut it to make it flat. So you can see here, says square on there, right? So I've pre-prepared these just so if I have a client that has a square nail bed or bitten nails, I don't have to take the time to do it as they're sitting there in front of me. Just kind of cuts down on time. So if I'm ever sitting around or I just have time between, clients or something like that, I'll go ahead and make some of these. So you can see that here where the nail form normally comes down now is flat instead of round like these are, right? So you can see here, this one is round, right? At the bottom, and this one is flat. And the way we do that is you take the form, we're gonna go ahead and grab the little piece here. I'm just gonna cut it. This one's easy because you just cut right above the logo, which makes it nice and easy. And then I'm gonna go ahead and come from behind and I'm gonna make that straight across here. Okay, so I'm just setting that, and I'm gonna, not too far because you need to get it under there, but it's not going to need to go too far because obviously their nail is still attached even though they've bitten it way back. So then we're gonna do the same process we did before. I'm gonna pre-pinch, I'm gonna open this up, I'm gonna go ahead and now see that the shape now of that straight edge matches the straightness of that square nail bed on my client. So again, we're still wanting to make it super tight underneath that center section, right? Still super tight, still coming out straight, still on straight, and there we go. So that's for like a square or someone who's bitten their nail back really far. And the reason, you want to make sure, the reason you make sure especially that the center piece is snug under the nail is that's kind of your foundation. Your strength is going to come from kind of this center area, which your C curve is going to help you with, and that's the curve underneath your nail, right? This is the C curve here. And the apex, which is the highest part of the nail. Those are the two things that are going to build strength into the nail. So you want to make sure if the flatter the nail is, the more chances it's going to break. But you can get a good combination of a nice C curve. So you can see this is very curved under here, right? That's because I use the forms, I pinch the forms and I make that C curve as I'm constructing the free edge of the nail like you guys have seen me do before. So because of that, I don't need a huge apex because those two things in combination are going to make that nail really strong so that it won't break. All right, so now that we have covered that, this is probably one of the biggest issues you come across with placing forms on people if they don't kind of fit into that standard, square nail beds, or like I mentioned before, if they have the extended hyponychium like I have, which I mentioned and explained in that other video. You can go ahead and go back and watch that. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and just show you kind of what I do. So for a typical square nail, depending on if you're going to do a long square, you probably wouldn't want to even pinch this because if it does come up here, it's going to be too thin. This is ideal for like a coffin shape if you're going to make it longer. If you're making a shorter square nail here, you can go ahead and pinch it at the ends, and that's still going to leave you plenty of C curve in your nail, but it's not going to kind of diminish the space that you have to make a nice straight square. Whereas if I am going to build a coffin or a stiletto, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pinch this all the way closed. And I usually do it a space or a space and a half above where I want the nail to reach. So let me show you. If I'm going to build a coffin nail, let's say, to this third line, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? I'm going to pinch it somewhere around here, this fourth or in between the fourth. That's going to give me a nice C curve all the way up to here, which is where the tip of my nail is going to be. And that, again, just like you can see here, we've got the nice tapered in coffin shape and a nice C curve all the way through that makes it look nice and narrow, so the nail doesn't look bulky, right? Stilettos are exactly the same. I would probably pinch it almost to the area I wanted to build the stiletto. So if I'm going to build it again to that third line, 1, 2, 3 out here, I'm going to probably pinch it even a little further down because that stiletto is going to come to a sharp point. So this is going to allow me to then build that stiletto, and you can kind of see, let me see if I can move this here. So you can kind of see that this can act like a guide because it is pinched and coming in here and in on this side as well. And then if you're doing any other, you know, a round or even an almond shaped nail, you're gonna kind of follow this. Almonds are similar to stilettos. You probably don't want to pinch it all the way down. I would leave that same space like a coffin nail, except you're not gonna have a straight edge at the end. You're gonna kind of round that off, and that's gonna give you that almond shape. So I hope that that helps. So you can see kind of some of the ways that I go about, you know, customizing the forms for the actual nail on my client, and also customizing the pinching and placing of the form for how I am going to build the nail and what shape I'm actually going to use. So again, if I'm doing that stiletto, I'm pinching this tight under here so that I have that nice look. With stilettos, I will say you have to be careful because once you start pinching this, if you are pinching it to a shorter length, it's gonna kind of start to tilt up a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean here. If I turn this sideways, you can kind of see that here, this is kind of pointing up now. See that? So we would have to kind of take this off and straighten it on there to make sure that it is coming straight out from the nail bed. And the reason that happens is just because of the way these forms are designed, because they're built kind of that rounding shape at the top. When you, the further in you pinch it, the more you're creating kind of that angle here. So you can see that this part comes down, and you want to make sure that that stays nice and straight. So if you were building the stiletto really long and you pinched it, you know, you don't have that problem. So I'll show you with this one real quickly from the side so you can see the difference. Let me get that on there. Okay, so we've got this on, it's nice and straight, right? It's coming straight out from the nail bed there. I have not yet pinched it. So if I'm building a long stiletto here and I'm just barely gonna pinch it, right? Because I'm building that super long stiletto. I need all that area. That it's not tilting at all yet, right? But as I pinch further in, see, it's creating that angle. And as I pinch further in to make a shorter stiletto, now look, see how that is going up. It's kind of angling up. Okay, so that, again, we're gonna have to fix it. And you just can take the form off and you're gonna look at it from the side, and you wanna get it on there straight, but make sure that that is coming straight out from the nail bed instead of tilting upward, right? So then you fix it, okay? So I hope that helps. If you do have any other questions, please let me know. I'm happy to put together some more videos for you if you would like. And yeah, so I'm over on Instagram. I have been really bad about posting, you guys. I keep saying I'm gonna try and do better, but it's been really difficult. But I am gonna try and keep posting things and keep videos coming out for you. So please head over to Instagram and follow me, _Manny_Maniac. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Love having you here. Welcome back if you are already a subscriber. If you are not, go ahead and hit that subscribe for me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. YouTube loves thumbs up videos that get shared and things like that. So we do appreciate your participation on the YouTube platform. So thank you so much. Hit me up in the comments down below again if you want to see any other kind of videos or anything you have to tell me. And we'll catch you next time on the Manny Maniac.